be encouraged and rest in the hope that we have found in Christ tonight. But I'm thankful for that song. I just want to share that really quick. But I'm excited to have Rebecca's going to come and share with us in a second. Rebecca's actually been here for almost a year, almost half a year now, just being eyes and being a presence here in our group, encouraging you guys, just seeing how you guys are worshiping, reacting, listening in. And she shared with me her story, and I believe that it'll be a story that will impact you guys. All of us have stories, you know that, right? All of us have testimonies of what God has done. And I know hers is going to be impactful. So I encourage you guys, listen to her as she comes to share. And would you help me just welcome her as she comes up now? So Miss Rebecca, if you'll come up on stage, we'll welcome you up. All right? You guys welcome her. Awesome. Do you need anything else? All right, sweet.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I like Christmas. I've never seen a youth group this decorated up for Christmas. I'm very thankful to be with you guys tonight. I've been here just watching you guys, and I can honestly say that you guys are one of the most welcoming youth groups that I've ever put my foot in. I just sat here in the back the first time I came, and before I was even in here, less than a minute, less than 10 seconds, it wasn't even 5 seconds, somebody had asked me to come and sit with them. They didn't even ask me what my name was. They just saw me and said, "Hey, come sit with us." I'm like, yes. It makes it a lot less awkward that way. Most of the time when I come and visit, I don't tell really anything. I just sit and observe like you guys do, and I come in jeans and a t-shirt, and I'm coming from school or something, so I just kind of blend in, and I do that on purpose because if I tell people that I'm a speaker, sometimes they get intimidated, and that's not what I want from anybody. I just want to be treated like everybody else, and tonight you're going to hear some of that. But before we get started, I just want to say thank you for welcoming me here, and thank you for being the youth group that you are, and for not being afraid of strangers. Please keep doing it, okay, because it's a lot easier that way. But before I go into the really deep stuff, my name is Rebecca, and it may not look like it, and it may not sound like it, but I'm 23 years old. Legally on paper, that's what they say, so I have to go with that. But I don't feel like it at all. I started speaking when I was 16 years old. And so at this point, this is really the only way of life that I know. I gave up everything I could to do this, and I am really not even supposed to be up here with you. I know that at first glance, I look like everybody else. I come to church, I go to school, but that's only what is on the surface. I have 2 hands and I have 2 feet like everyone else, but that's not the whole story. From up here, it looks like everything is what it's supposed to be. But on the inside, it doesn't work that way. I have something called cerebral palsy, and really quickly I'm going to explain what that is because a lot of people don't know what it is and what it can do to a person's life. It does different things for everyone. If you see a person with cerebral palsy, 9 times out of 10 they're in a wheelchair. I am not in a wheelchair, guys. I am supposed to be, but I am not. I am so grateful that you are here because I went through 5 surgeries, I learned how to walk 3 times, and I worked my way out of a wheelchair 2 times, just so that one day I could stand up like you guys. So thanks for showing up, because I went through a lot to get here. The cerebral palsy is a mental/physical condition. It affects my brain and how I process things. It doesn't work that way for everyone, but that's what got affected in my brain. I was born 2 months prematurely, and I had lack of oxygen to the brain. and that's what caused it. Now for the rest of me, all the muscles in my body are basically like this. So they work like a rubber band. They're extremely tight, and in some way or another, I am basically forcing my body to move, to do normal things. I wasn't able to walk like everybody else. I didn't start walking like everybody else. And I wasn't aware that this is how my life was going to be until I was 18 months old. I don't remember being diagnosed with it. But as I got older, I realized that something was different about me, and I didn't like it because it limited me to just everyday activities. You can't notice it now, but when I was younger, my feet actually used to be turned in like this. And I stood on my toes, and my knees actually used to touch each other. And I wore braces on my legs, and my back was different than everybody else's. It still is a little bit, but now it's manageable. Before it wasn't. I can't read like you can read. If you give me a book to read, I can't say the word and read the word at the same time. I can only do one or the other. So if you read to me, I can tell you everything that you just said. But I can't read the word and say the word and comprehend what I just read. If I read a page in a book, by the time I get to the bottom of it, I'm not going to remember what the top said. But if you read it to me, then I can remember it. I love it when people read because I can remember what they're saying. But that's just one way that it affects my brain. I can only do one or the other. I can't do both of anything at the same time. I can't type on a keyboard. I can only use one hand or the other. The muscles in my body are tight, but when I was 4 years old, they went into my spine and they cut all the muscles and nerves to my legs, which is why I'm able to stand up here right now and why my feet are straight. And doctors told me that I would never be able to run or walk or do anything after this surgery. And that is not the case. Because if it was, then I wouldn't be up here with you. There is no logical reason why I should be able to do this. If you sit me on a table, my legs just hang there. A few years ago, they actually tested my reflexes in my legs. And the doctor looked at me, and my legs weren't moving. And he got the little triangle thing, and he hit my knees, and nothing moved. And he did it again, and nothing moved. And he looked at me, he said, "You're still breathing, right?" I said, "Uh-huh." "Pretty sure?" He goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "Well, you're the doctor, you're supposed to tell me." "I don't know why my legs aren't moving." He's like, "Well, can you stand up for me?" I said, "Yeah." So he got up, and he stood up, and he just turned his head, and they hadn't tested my reflexes in a long time, so I'm kind of stumped myself. But I walked out of the office and kept on going. So I don't have an answer for you, other than God allows me to do the impossible, and that's the only answer I have. But that is the miracle part of the story, and that's what is up front first. But there's a lot that happens in between all of that. When I was in school, just like you, I wanted to look like everybody else. And I couldn't see the purpose for my life. There's a lot that went on inside my head that people didn't know about. And I would go to school, and I would walk down the hallway, and I would smile just like this. And people would ask me how I was doing. I'm like, "Good, I'm doing fine." Not doing so fine. I can't play on the playground. I can't walk through the store. I can't do anything without people staring at me. And I remember wanting to do things, but my body couldn't. My brain could do it, but my body could not. I walked through the hallways, and people pushed me down just because they thought it was funny. I would buy clothes like everyone else to try to get their focus on something else. And the more I tried, the harder it got. And even though I was smiling like everybody else, on the inside I'm about to break because all I'm doing is trying to hide what I really feel, because in some ways I felt like I was expected to be that way. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not always happy. I'm not the superhero in the story. I'm not always just going to be happy. I'm human just like everybody else. That's why when I come to visit, I stand in a jeans and t-shirt, because I'm just like everybody else. You just don't know the whole story yet. I wanted to make friends, but I couldn't because people were so busy looking at what was on the outside of me. In 3rd grade, I cut my hair off because the girl that everybody liked cut her hair. So I decided that I was going to cut my hair. And everybody has one bad haircut in their life, and that was mine. My hair was not supposed to be this short. And that's my first haircut I ever got, and I wish I never got it. Because the only reason why I did it was to look like everyone else. The only reason why I wore jeans in 90-degree weather was to hide the one thing that I hated. And it was the braces on my legs that I kept trying to hide. And I'd come home and take them off, and my leg would be covered in heat rashes. That's what my life looked like. My teachers looked at my grades, and they weren't pretty. I remember sitting in meetings wondering what it was going to look like. I watched everybody else get AB honor roll, and I worked 10 times as hard as everybody else, but I had nothing to show for it. And I wondered what was wrong with me. Why couldn't I read like everyone else? Why couldn't I have friends like everyone else? I just wanted one. One person that didn't care. The only person I trusted was my school teachers, because they didn't let me get ran over by the other kids. But I walked down the hallway, and it was so bad that if I put my hand out, you wouldn't take it because I looked differently from you. If you saw me fall in the hallway, people would just pass by and not pay attention, and most likely the kids before me they were the ones that pushed me down anyways. But I looked up at my teacher, and I smiled at her, and I kept going. But then I would go home and slide behind the doorway, crying and crying some more, because once again, I still didn't have one person. And I looked in the mirror just like this, and wondering why I was crooked and why I couldn't lose the weight. And yes, I struggled with my weight as I got older because I was in a wheelchair, but that wasn't taken into consideration. And why is my body getting ripped apart over and over and over by the doctors that say that this is supposed to make it better? But instead, I have people that are having to try and do everything for me because I can't. When they did the back surgery for my legs, I know that sounds weird. You gotta go through your back to get through your legs, but that's just how it works. They had a huge checklist of risks that could happen. And I still remember my mom signing the paperwork and the waiver. And they took me to the back, and they told me that, or they showed me on like a doll, like what part they were going to be operating on, because at this point I'm only 4, and this is what's going through my brain. I know that I'm having surgery, but I don't know what this is going to do to me. What I didn't know was when I came out, I wasn't going to be able to move anything. And everything that happened everything that I knew wasn't anymore. So it's basically like they unplugged my brain, hit the reset button, and plugged it back in. And then I had to start over. And then I would keep working and do physical therapy and relearn and redo and relearn everything over and over. And then I would have to start over again because then it would be time for another surgery. So just as I'm getting over one, it's time for another one. And just as doctors are telling me that I'm not going to be able to run or play any sports, by the time I got to the age of 6, I was on my first soccer team. I couldn't run as fast, I couldn't kick as hard, but I was still on the team. And that's all that mattered to me, because it just conquered whatever they just said. But I still didn't have the one thing that I was looking for. One person. And I still didn't know what my purpose was. They're still ripping my body apart. I'm still working 10 times as hard as everyone else. I don't understand how to make my body move and do what I want it to do. I still can't do some of the things that you can do. So for me, my life looked worthless and no purpose, and all I'm here to do is to let them operate on me, to try and fix it, to make it better and keep going. I cut my hair, I tried different clothes, I tried new shoes, I tried losing weight, and it didn't work. Nothing was working. When I was 9 years old, I accepted Christ. And for most people, that's like the turning point. Was I going to heaven? Yeah. Did I accept Jesus? Yeah. But nothing happens after that. So I'm still wondering what my purpose is and why, God, are you doing this to me? And why are you letting them rip me apart? Why am I looked at as a failure? Why do I feel worthless? Why am I looking in the mirror at myself and calling myself ugly? How many times am I going to have to do this over and over again? And I'm on my knees looking at the mirror wondering when it's going to be over. Can you please tell me what this life is supposed to look like? When I was 12 years old, still playing soccer, I finally met one person. She was my soccer coach, and she looked at me, and I was playing for my church. And she looked at me and she told me that I was beautiful just the way that I was. And she told me that she didn't care what I had and what I didn't have. She told me that I had a diamond inside of my heart, and she was going to help me take the dust off. In other words, she was going to help me decipher what everybody else had already told me my entire life and give me something else. So for years, she was like my mentor. And I met a youth pastor, and I got involved in a church. And then the year after that, I got called into missions. And ever since, that's been my whole life. I started by helping that one friend go on her mission trip. And ever since then, I've given up everything after that. I know it doesn't make sense, right? You're looking at me saying you had to give everything away to understand why you were here in the first place. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's for you, but this is what happened to me. And it was a whole lot better than what I had been told. So why not? And that's how the story plays out. I still have cerebral palsy. But I learned how to use it for the good instead of looking at it as a negative. Because to be honest, guys, if I didn't have cerebral palsy, there wouldn't be a night like tonight. It wouldn't be the same. And I can't stand up here in front of you and say that there are days I wonder what it's like to be, quote, normal. I don't really know what that is. But if normal is being unhappy for how you look, or if it's determined by the stuff that I have, or the kind of car I drive, or the house that I live in, I don't want it. I don't want it. Because see, I don't just talk to youth groups. I've talked to everybody. It's just different depending on the kind of ages that I have. But I spoke to grown people in a regular congregation. And you know how many people I meet that are unhappy? And they have what it looks to be more than me? You know how many people I meet that complain about their jobs, but they have more than me? That's what it looks like. They have the right house. They have a fancy car. But they hate their job, which means they hate 8 hours of their day. I don't want to live like that. But I gave up everything I had. Everything. I gave up my allowance money because I didn't have a job yet. I made my yard sale and sold all my possessions. Well, not all of them, I still have clothes on. But all the stuff that I didn't need to have, sold it. Don't need it. Somebody else needs it. And eventually, I'm going to donate my hair. Because somebody else needs it more than me. I have the ability to grow hair. Somebody else doesn't. I gave up on the approval of people and what they thought of me. When I told my mom at 16 that I was going to be a speaker, not totally sure she believed me, because when I went to school, I was mute. I didn't talk to anyone. And you're looking at someone who's had surgery and is not supposed to do anything. So what is that going to look like? What is my life going to look like? And to be honest, I didn't know. But I know that it's still worth living. And if that means giving up everything to have joy, then I'll take it. Because you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. Everything that I have, I can't take with me. I can't take the stuff. And when I get to heaven, God's not going to ask me how many Facebook friends I have, or how many Instagram followers I have, or how many Twitter accounts I have, or how many people read my book, or how many people I got to know. He's not going to ask me that. The only question he's going to ask me is if I knew Jesus or not. And I know Jesus loves me now. But it had to happen with one person first. To tell me that she didn't care about what I did have or what I didn't have. She just took me just like I was. And because of that one person is why I'm able to stand up here with you tonight. That's why I'm so grateful. Because I'm not supposed to have a job. I'm not supposed to write a book. I'm not supposed to play soccer. I'm not supposed to have a black belt in karate. I'm not supposed to do any of that. I'm not supposed to travel around the world. I'm not supposed to be a missionary. But I get to do it because I gave up everything. Everything. For the cost of somebody else, and look at them in the face and say, I don't care what you have. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what the scales say. I don't care what kind of family background you have, because if you really got to know me down deep, my family is a mess. I'm not up here because my life is I'm not up here because I have it all together. I'm only up here because God allows me to be up here, and He knows I'm going to honor Him. And when I get to the end of my life, guys, the only thing I want to hear is well done. That's what I'm waiting for. Not the stuff, not the scales, not to look like somebody else. This is what happened to me when I gave up trying to be like everybody else. I have no more races, no more wheelchairs, and hopefully no more surgeries. What you see right now is what you get. The same person you see up here is out there. Because I can tell you what's going to happen in the next 12 hours. You ready? I'm going to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go substitute teach at a school that's basically like my family, right? I'm going to get up, I'm going to go teach, and, pray that I can not put my clothes on backwards in the dark. I haven't done that, because I don't turn on the light at 6 a.m. Okay? I get dressed in the dark, because I refuse to turn on the overhead. Okay? At 6 a.m. No, not happening. Okay? I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to school, and I'm probably going to tie about 200 shoes. And I'm going to hear, "Hey, Miss Rebecca!" And I'm going to read a couple books. And I'm probably going to give about 200 high fives. And I'm going to say, "Did you have a good day?" "Yeah!" "Awesome, let's go for another one." That's what I'm going to do. Just like you guys. What you see is what you get. And I can hope and pray that when I get to the end of the line right here, that all I want is a well done. Why is that so important to me? Why is giving up everything important to me? Why is tying shoes important to me? Why is signing your books and taking pictures and giving you a hug important to me? Because that's what I live for. When I get to the end, I just want a well done. And my dad's not with me to tell me that. So the only father I have is the one up here. That's it. The one that created me, right? And you're like, why is that such a big deal? Because that's the only father I had. That's the only father I'm going to be. Because he already knew I was going to have all these problems anyway. And you know what? He fixed it. I still have cerebral palsy, but it's the way that I'm able to use it that makes it difference. Because I used to hate my life. I used to hate the way that I looked. Not anymore. Not anymore. But it only happened when someone told me that she didn't care. And I'm going to tell you that I don't care. I don't care. You can come up to me in your pajamas. Don't care. So before you leave tonight, please don't leave without telling me about it. And if you want me to sign your book, I will be more than happy to. Or if you just need a hug, then I'm here for that too. I have some people here that came to support me, and if you took time out of your day, I can't thank you enough. Because when I said I gave up, the approval of people, that included about 90% of my blood family. My family's back here. There's 2 over here, there's about 4 or 5 over there, and my mom's videoing over here. That's my family back there. I have a very diverse family. I've got Mexican family, I've got African American family, I've got some Thai family, I've got Georgia family who know how to make banana pudding. Yes. That's what my family is. It's not about the blood for me. I just want you to be present, and I just want you to be a part of my life. And I hope that when you leave tonight, you know that your life is valuable, and whatever you're going through, it's not going to last forever. And most likely, the part that you hate about your life is what you're going to be able to use later. And if you walk out of here knowing that your life is priceless, then my job is done. And the surgeries and the braces and the wheelchairs is worth it. And walking through elementary school is worth it. That's why I do this job, guys. That's why I gave up everything. And I refuse to complain because I'm not supposed to have anything. But I got everything I can right here. Got clothes on, not hungry, and I have a car that I have to freight over because I'm not so sure if it's going to start tomorrow. But as long as it makes it to school, I'm good. I'm good. I'll learn how to be content with a little and a lot. Because I will never see a U-Haul behind my hearse. So if you're wondering if it's worth it, if you're wondering if your life is worth it, it's worth it. But sometimes it only comes if you give up everything. And I know at the end of this, in just a second, you're going to clap. Or some of you might stand. But I don't want you to stand for me. If you're going to clap, and if you're going to stand, well, first of all, I want you to know that I'm very humbled that you want to do that. But if you're going to clap and you're going to stand, then stand for the Lord. Not for me. I'm just the messenger. God's the superhero in my story. I'm not supposed to do anything. And there's something else you should know. A lot of people ask me if I use notes when I'm speaking. There's nothing up here except an open Bible. So what you just heard came from my heart and whatever God wanted me to say. I don't plan these out. God just planned it out. And I'm very thankful to be used in this way. So if you're going to clap, and if you're going to stand, stand for that. Don't stand for me. Because I'm standing to honor God, not for myself. That's the superhero in this story. Thank you for letting me be here with you tonight. And I'm really glad that I had this opportunity. And I will be back to visit. I don't just disappear. But I'm going to be in the back. And I just want you to know that I don't want you to leave without telling me why. But what you see is what you get. I'm going to stand back up here and say I'm out there. I'm not afraid of you. I don't meet strangers. I just make new friends. Sound good? Pastor Nick, can you come pray us out?
Yeah, you can clap.
So like she said, all of what was said, man, it's all for the Lord. That's what she's here for. So if you're sitting here wondering, I'm thankful for Rebecca sharing her story with you. And why am I thankful? Because of the message that she shared is a lot of stuff that we all struggle with, guys. You may not have the same story as her. You may not have the same story, but we all have a story. And if there's something I struggled with as well growing up, and I know many of us do, it's the struggle of believing that we're not worth it. You are worth it. It's exactly what the cross shows us. Jesus dying for you. If you ever wondered, man, it's not worth it, people tell me I'm not worth it, they make fun of me, they do all these things. Why? You are worth it. God showed you that. So never forget it. The second thing is, you have a story. You have scars that you've been through, things that you struggle with. Those scars can be used, as Rebecca showed us tonight, for God's glory. All the things that have caused her pain throughout her life, she's now openly sharing, which is a huge deal, with you. She's being very vulnerable, which Like, I don't know if you guys caught that. Being vulnerable helps people and encourages people. Because maybe you've been in the same spot. Maybe you struggle with the same thing. So use your story, use your scars for God's glory. And the last thing is, like she said, and I loved it, be the one. Be that one person that loves somebody so much that changes their life. Because you've been, and you know this, you are in the place that God has you right now as a catalyst for life change, to share love, His love, with people. So when you see people, man, don't just see them as faces in a crowd. See people how God sees them. You want to know how God sees them? As His children, created in His own image, guys. So I'm thankful for Rebecca, for her sharing her story, and I hope and pray that you guys will just take these things with you as you leave. Come say hey to her. I know she'd love to hear that. Give her a hug, whatever. But glad you guys are here. Let's pray, and then we'll leave. Father God, thank you.